coming out tonight. My name is Samantha Basile, and I'm the Community and Adult Services Librarian here at Richmond, and I'm the coordinator for Richmond Reads. I want to take a moment to thank our friends of the library for their really generous support of this program. Their fundraising and support makes programs like this possible, and we are very grateful, so thank you. I also want to quickly thank the Richmond Reads Committee. They're Sue Briggs, Sue Chitty, Leslie DeLuz, Cindy Hickelberger, Irene Hickey, and Judy Sikora. If you're familiar with our program, you know that our committee reads many, many books each year, trying to determine the perfect title for Richmond Reads. Our program began 4 years ago after A Tale for Three Counties ended, which I know many of you are familiar with. We had a great in-person visit with Silas House, and then when COVID hit, we moved to... Can you still hear me if I talk like this?
Yes.
A little? All right, let me try something else. I don't know. All right. Sorry about that. So, Richmond Reads, like I said, began 4 years ago with an in-person visit from Silas. And then when COVID hit, we moved to virtual programming. And while those were wonderful programs, there's just something about meeting an author in person. As one of my committee members noted earlier, for a librarian, meeting a published author is like meeting a rock star. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. And we are very thrilled to be back in our lovely reading room tonight for our event. This year, we came across our title before it was even published. One of our committee members heard about it and suggested that we read it. We knew pretty quickly that it would make a good selection. The Violin Conspiracy is a little bit mystery, a little bit coming of age, a little bit thriller, and a whole lot of music. Even if you aren't a fan of classical music, it effortlessly brings the reader into that world through Ray's story. With strong themes like family, perseverance, and the experience of growing up Black in America, we knew it would lead to thought-provoking and important discussions. Thankfully, when we contacted Brendan and his publishers to see if he would be our 2022 Richmond Reads selection, it was a resounding yes. This evening, we'll enjoy a conversation with Brendan followed by a signing. If you would like to purchase the book at the end of the program, there will be copies in the back for sale. When the program concludes, we'll give Brendan some time to get set up at the signing table, and we'll form a line along the row of shelves through this door here. There are also copies to borrow if you haven't read the book but would like to. So, without any more feedback or ado, it is my honor to introduce Brendan Slocumb, author of The Violin Conspiracy.
Thank you guys so much for having me here. I cannot even begin to explain how thrilling it is to be sitting here in front of such a lovely group of people who, I'm not going to say love the book, because that would be presumptuous of me. A lovely group of people who have read the book. You can tell me at the end of this if you still like it or not. It's the thrill of my life to be here, and I can't thank you guys enough. So to show you my appreciation. I can go panoramic on this, so I'm going to do a couple, but I'm going to get side for side. We'll see who's got the most enthusiasm tonight. All right. Say sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla. Okay, that is the plainest group picture I think I've ever seen. You guys have nothing to worry about. All right, here we go. Sarsaparilla, one more time. Sarsaparilla. Hey, one person took a chance and waved. All right, you guys ready? I know you got this. You got this. Ready? Say turpentine. Turpentine. 6 pair of hands went up. Thank you guys. All right, panoramic. Sorry. Here we go. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. We're panning. Pictures, and we're still panning. You can do it. We're panning, yes. And give me that big Kool-Aid smile. and we're done. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. Good applause for that. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anyone who has not read The Violin Conspiracy?
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm waiting for the movie.
I like her. All right, you got about 10 minutes before I tell you who did it. Somebody hand her a book. Okay, so Violin Conspiracy is the story of Ray, who discovers that his old family violin is actually a priceless Stradivarius fiddle. This discovery catapults him into superstardom in the world of classical music, and right before the, what's the name of the competition? Tchaikovsky. Right before the Tchaikovsky competition, his violin is stolen. Will he get it back? Will he compete? Will he win? If he does compete, could it possibly have been his mom and his family who thinks that he should sell the fiddle and split it, the $10 million with the whole family? Is it his teacher who might be a little bit jealous of him? Was it the Marx family who thinks that the violin is rightfully theirs because of some slave trade stuff?
I have my suspicions.
I often get asked, where did the story of the Violin Conspiracy come from? A lot of it is actually from my life. A lot of the things that took place in my actual life. Basically starting from when I was 9 years old when I began to play the violin in public school music programs. So who is a teacher in here? Who's a retired teacher? That counts too. Right, twice as many hands went up, and that is me. Yeah, I'm a classroom teacher as well. I was in the classroom for 25 years. I absolutely love every moment of it. So I understand, I love you. You are amazing, incredible people. There's only one group of people better than you guys.
Your musicians?
Librarians. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, librarians. Thank you so much for everything. You've impacted my life tremendously. I doubt that I would be here were it not for my local library. It gave me something to do. It started me reading. It started my interest in science. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, librarians. Thank you. Give yourselves a... It's pretty high praise coming from a teacher. Okay, whatever. So, Violin Conspiracy, Ray is violent. A lot of the instances came from my life, and people say, did those things really happen? Yes, they did. Some modified versions, but they actually did take place. The wedding scene, modified version, but it actually did take place, which was really, to this day, I will never forget the way that guy looked, ever. String quartet that I was playing in, played at his daughter's wedding. The moment we played the last note, he shooed us out of the church and looked us right in the eye and said, "You ruined my daughter's wedding." It's like, I did not know what I was getting into, and the first time I'd ever seen hatred in someone's eyes. He was like, "I'm not paying you, I'm calling my attorney." And it was a mess. It was a mess, and it stuck with us for a long, long time. And we would tell the story, and people would always come up with an excuse. "Oh, well, maybe you did this, or maybe you did that." It couldn't have been him. No, it couldn't have been anything that he did. But, that was just one thing. The Baton Rouge scene, where Ray was driving down the road to a performance at LSU, and he got stopped by the cops. True story, with the exception of Ray went to jail, I did not go to jail. That was 100% true. Summer of 2000, driving along in a brand new 2000 Toyota Corolla. Oh, it was a beautiful car. No, was it a Corolla? Yeah, it was a Corolla. It was great. No, I was kidding. I'm sorry. It was a Honda Accord. Oh. I drove a Toyota 4Runner for years and years. That's what I had mixed up. It was a Honda Accord, black. Okay, going down the road in Baton Rouge, pre-GPS, had a road map. My friend is in the car. It's like, all right, where's the hotel? I don't know. Oh, it's over there. Put the left turn signal on. No other cars in the road. Put the signal on. Turn. Lights and sirens. Oh, jeez. No video cameras, no cell phone cameras or anything, so we're just kind of like, and I was terrified. My friend, who was white, was, what are you doing? It's just going to give you a ticket. Okay. Gets on his bullhorn. Get out of the vehicle. hands up. Walk backwards. Get down on your hands and knees. That's when it hit me. I was like, I'm done. Here it comes. This is it. It's been a good 26 years. It's been great. Do you have ID? It's in my wallet. Reach slowly for your wallet. I'm covering you. It's terrible. Pull it out, drop the wallet. He comes up, looks at my ID, looks at me. Okay, you can go. What was that about? Oh, well, you made an illegal lane change. You drew your gun and you were on a bullhorn because of an illegal lane change. Yeah, pretty much. If you have a problem with it, you can contact the police station. Okay. And I did. And the police chief said, well, maybe he thought that you couldn't hear him. That's why he was on the bullhorn. Well, what about the gun being drawn? Well, he's got to protect himself. Okay. I will never come back to the town of Baton Rouge ever again. If there's a suitcase full of money with my name on it, all you have to do is pick it up. Not happening. Anyway, okay, the bad stuff. Some good stuff happened too, but another bad thing was the violin was actually stolen. My senior year in high school, my violin was supposed to take me to college. It was supposed to start my career. Went on a weekend trip, came back. I knew something was wrong. Walked into the house. You know that feeling if you've ever had your home broken into. I pray that no one else, that doesn't happen if it hasn't happened to you. But the moment you walk in, something's just not right. There's something in the air. Furniture stuff thrown everywhere, things gone, the TV's gone, the radio's gone, all of this stuff. I go straight to my room, to my hiding spot for my violin, which was under my bed. I looked, wasn't there. I looked again, it really wasn't there. This can't be happening. I ran out of my room, and I ran back in, and I looked again. It's really not there. What does that mean? I just lost a part of my body. Never get over it. Never. Haven't gotten over it yet. If anyone has a 53 Eugene Lehman violin, I won't ask any questions. If you know someone who has one, just... So that sucked. What else? Was anything good that come out of this, Brendan? Yeah. I met the most incredible mentor, and my Dr. Janice Stevens. My violin teacher, Dr. Rochelle Vetter-Kwong, taught me everything I know. And I am here today largely in part because of her. She pushed me when I wanted to quit. She said, don't ever stop. You can do it. Don't listen to them. You can do this. You are good at this. And because of her, okay, I'll give it another shot. She taught me everything I know, and here I am today, being able to speak to you guys who are so supportive of this book. And I don't even know what to, it's overwhelming. It really, really is overwhelming. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Brendan, what are you working on next? Oh, really? That's a good question, whoever said that. I actually finished my second book. Well, first, I mentioned this earlier, which it's great. I've been told that I've created a new genre, musical thrillers. It might catch on, you never know. I'll have my own little section in the bookstore, in the library as well. Musical thrillers, exclusively Brendan Slocumb. So all of my books are going to have a musical theme to it. There will be some type of musical references in each book. And one thing that I'm doing, I'm going to see how long I can keep it going. There will be at least one character from the previous book in the next book. You'll love this, watch this. For my second book, which is called Symphony of Secrets. I know, right? I know. The main character is mentioned in the last chapter of the Violin Conspiracy. So, I would actually recommend reading. Which one do you do first? The last chapter of the first book or the first chapter of the second book? What do you think? do that. Reread the last chapter of the Violin Conspiracy, and then you'll where is it, and then you'll read the first 2 chapters of Symphony of Secrets. Oh my gosh! So I'm going to try to do that and incorporate that from all. I guess that solidifies my genre. Yes, does that count? Right, okay. What are you working on, Brendan? Okay, so what I'm working on currently, I just finished my 2nd book. It's called Symphony of Secrets. It's going to be out in April. It is music themed. Do you like the elevator pitch for the book? Do you know what an elevator pitch is? I didn't know either. Oh my gosh, I have only known this for a year now. My agent was like, so you got to work on your elevator pitch. What elevator? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's when you give like a 30-second synopsis of the book. Oh, okay. This was me in the very beginning, back in February. Wow, that was February of this year, wasn't it? This is me in February. The Violin Conspiracy is a story of Ray, who discovers that, I think about it now, I could rattle it off, I could probably do it in a half a breath. Anyone want to take that bet with me? Please don't. So my elevator pitch is basically a 30-second synopsis of the story. So the Symphony of Secrets, there it is. America's greatest composer. He's bigger than Beethoven and Bach and Mozart and Handel. He's huge. Everyone across the world knows him. His name is Frederick Delaney. His 150th anniversary celebration is being planned by his family, who has started a foundation in his name, which is like, it's so big and widely known, it's synonymous with Walt Disney. Everyone across the world knows the Delaney Foundation. They hire a musicologist to do some research into what made this guy's music so great. Why is our uncle, Freddie, so amazing? During his research, the musicologist discovers this guy may not have written any of this music. And it could have been appropriated from a black woman who we now know would be living with autism. And the family will stop at nothing to keep all of that a secret. They will lose billions of dollars if people realize that he stole this music. So they try to keep it a secret. Symphony of Secrets. I'd read that one. Who else would? Okay. I'll wait for the movie. No, it's good. I'm very happy with the story. It's a great story. I'm actually late getting started writing my 3rd book. I was supposed to start in September. I've just been too busy. I'm going around speaking to wonderful audiences like you guys, and I haven't had time to sit and write. When I sit down to write, I start and then I stop. I don't stop until I'm done all the way through. It's usually a couple of months I have to block out, but I just haven't had a chance to do that yet because I'm happy to be here. I really am. I'd rather be here than writing, so. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing, and that is me in a nutshell. Ta-da! Oh, great. Does anyone have a question for me?
Are you still playing violin? Do you ever play? Or are you just writing?
I actually did a recital 2 weeks ago. I'm a violinist first. I would be doing none of this were it not for my music, so that's my first love, my passion. I have to keep it up. Yes, I play as much as I can. I had to drop out of a symphony that I was playing in just because I couldn't make the dates work with travel and everything, but I do play in a chamber music society in Alexandria, Virginia. We just got done with a Schubert quartet, and if you know Schubert, it's hard. Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's so hard. Imagine only having like an hour to practice, and like that's what it felt like. So, gotta practice. Next. Hey.
I was right at the beginning when it was the white sneaker in the violin case. Was there any symbolism, or why was it a white sneaker? For somebody to ask a question about why it's the white sneaker.
That is a fantastic question. And I want you to know when I wrote in that it was going to be a white size 10.5 Chuck Taylor all-star tennis shoe, my agent asked me the exact same thing. Why a white shoe? And my response was what I'm about to tell you now. Why not? No, I figured, people sometimes think, oh, wouldn't that be too light? That would be less weight than a violin. But remember, violins are hollow, and it's hollow like a shoe. And I figured a size 10.5 would weigh just, it's not very much material. It's a little bit of rubber and then some canvas. And, yeah, Chuck violin, Chuck Strat, Chuck, yeah, that works. So it was just a random thing. And plus, I think maybe Chuck Taylor All-Stars made a comeback a little bit. I'm wearing Adidas, but Next, well, hey.
I wondered what happened to the other one.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, before I answer that question.
It's in the next
Fuchsia, what chapter are you on?
I think I just started chapter 3 yesterday.
Oh my God, I'm trying to avoid major spoilers. I'm trying to avoid it.
You know what? You have these, I'm only one.
No, I can do it, I promise I can do it, I can. No, please don't please don't leave.
No, I don't want to get upset. I'll pretend I'm not here. I'll put my
You know what?
I have to tell you, let me say this. I won your book free. But I'm not a reader, so my girlfriend brings me along to these things. There's just too much life. I'm tired of it. I'll get to it, but just tell me what you need to tell me.
Okay. I'll do it without spoiling. They'll get it, but I won't spoil it. No!
No, I was going to tell you in her defense, because she is my friend. She's, like she said, she's not a reader, and it takes her a while. Me, I devoured that sucker in 3 days. and I wanted to slap everybody but the book lover.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to talk. We're going to talk. Okay, I can do this. Watch. Okay, so the other sneaker, that was the original question. Yes, see, I remember that. The other sneaker. Yeah, I'll say this. The trainer got it. Didn't give anything away. That's where it came from. Wow, I love this. Hey!
Hey, so Ray's family was a little dysfunctional.
A little.
That isn't patterned after your family.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the only person in Ray's family that is my actual relative is Grandma Nora. She's the only real person. And that family dysfunction, I like to think everybody knows about family dysfunction. Everybody does. Maybe not to that extent, but we all can relate to family dysfunction because we are all human. So everybody has it. It's when, it happens. So I figured, why sugarcoat it and make them this, just uber supportive family that's just easing out, because that's not realistic. Some places you get lucky enough to have a kid with parents and a family it's really not realistic, am I right? Okay, so I wanted it to be as authentic as possible, and we all know people like that, don't we? Not the only one who knows people like that. But yes, that's just how some people are. But the mom in the book was not my mom, I promise you. And I mentioned this earlier today to another group earlier, but Mom could have been a very self-centered, greedy, just money-hungry person. She could have been that, or this was the only way she knew to protect Ray, because she'd never seen anyone who looks like him be successful in a field that he's trying to go into, and she wanted to protect him. She didn't want him to be hurt. No? Okay. Just thought I'd put it out there, but hey, yes.
Hi. I could have Googled it, but I didn't. And not to give anything away, I love where he landed in the Tchaikovsky. I thought that was great, the placement of where he landed. Is that a real competition?
It's actually taking place
I didn't know
next
anything
year.
about that.
Yeah, and we'll get to that part later, but yeah, it's actually questionable who's going to attend because of what's going on in Ukraine right now. So it's very questionable. There may be some people that age out and this is their last shot to do it, and you never know what's going to happen. Never know. So it's a sad situation, but yes, it's literally the Olympics that happens every 4 years.
And did you go?
I did not. I got the literature list when I was in college. It was like, oh, Tchaikovsky list. Okay, what do you have to play? Okay, that one's too hard. That one's too hard. That one's too hard. No, that one's too hard. And hey, I can't play any of this stuff. My next opportunity would be 3-4 years from now, and I could practice for it, but no. I did some other competitions, but not Tchaikovsky. Had I started when I was 5 instead of 9, I probably would have been better. 9 is like ancient for a violinist. That is like super old for someone if you're trying to make it in music. That's crazy old. 9, I know. Hey,
Couple of questions for you.
you're a Bills fan?
Yes, why did you decide to write this book?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
Bruce, why did you decide to write this book?
Summer 2020, COVID. COVID happened. As a working musician, I was teaching lessons, playing in a symphony, rehearsals, recitals, weddings, everything. I was booked for the entire year, and that was my revenue stream. Then COVID happened, and everything stopped. And there was such uncertainty, had no idea how long this was going to last. So I was like, well, I'm out of a job. What am I going to do? So I sat on the couch and ate all day long. I did. Until about the middle of April. I submitted a manuscript that I had written 20 years ago, a science fiction manuscript. I submitted it to this advertisement that's selling books in the age of COVID. I was like, all right, cool. This book is great. I don't know why those other people didn't publish it 20 years ago, but this book is great. So I'm going to mail it in. Why not? So I mailed it in, and I got a letter back. Dear Mr. Slocumb, whoa, this manuscript, this story is absolutely horrible. But you have a good voice. You should try writing what you know, and it's not science fiction. Okay. I know music, so I wrote the first chapter of the Violin Conspiracy, and it was Ray sitting in his high school classroom looking at Vivaldi, Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven. I know, right? That's how I wrote it. Yes.
My second question is, where was the dinner, speaking of eating, and what did you have?
Pizza, I think. Pizza. And it was, where was it, Romans? Romans, yeah, it was very nice.
That's good, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, it was good, it was good time. I don't have my contacts in, so give me a second.
I'm always interested in how authors practice their craft. Do you write every day like it's a job? Or do you write when you're inspired? Or how do you approach it?
First, caffeine-free, sugar-free. Let's go stuff. I'm sorry, a bit dry. I've been very fortunate to have grown up in a musical environment. I used to practice 3.5 hours every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes I would take Monday off because my lesson was on Monday every day for 4 years. It was nothing for me to just sit and write. I said to myself, okay, I'm going to write. If I say I'm going to write, I do it until I finish. It's normally a couple of months that I will block off. Violin Conspiracy was easy because it was the summer of COVID and there was nothing else going on, so I had plenty of time. For the second book, I really had to get it done within a certain window because it's like from here, this is the end of your travel, and then it starts really starting up against here, so you've got to be done. Okay, so I sat and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. But I plan to just sit and write every day. I will write in the morning, then teach lessons in the afternoon. And that's how I balance it out. And nothing comes between. The writing is paramount. If I have to cancel a lesson, the lesson gets canceled. If I have a doctor's appointment, I'm not going to write. I'm not going to do the lessons. But yeah, once I start, I just go all the way through.
Hi there.
Hey.
In the book, I don't remember the name, but you referenced a violinist that I actually looked up on YouTube and was a real violinist, I think. Right?
Yes.
Wondering where that came from. It was something that I think Ray would listen to quite a bit. Was there any story behind the person you chose? And I have a friendly stranger next to me that asked if you're going to be playing the CD
part of that first. Hilary Hahn is the violinist that Ray listens to a lot, and I chose her because she has the most impeccable technique you've ever seen, and she plays on the Stradivarius. And just every single note that she's ever played is just absolute perfection, and it's amazing. I've had the opportunity to see her perform several times. I actually gave her a book. I don't know if you've read it, but I did give it to her. So she was a natural person to choose, and she's relatable, and she's kind of youngish, and she's out right now, and people know her as one of the top. So I figured that would be perfect. And the second part, which is what I forgot already.
She wants to play.
And then you remember, I did not bring my violin because it's actually being repaired right now, because I fly around with it and it gets knocked around, and I just had a recital and it really needs to be repaired, and it's kind of, sorry. If someone has a fiddle here, I'd be happy to play it. Anyone got a kid in the strings program, the fiddle's in the car, the trunk's in place? Next time, I will come back and I will play for you the next time, if you want. Hey.
Hi. I just had to mark this because I just thought it was beautiful, and I wonder if you feel this way when you play, that sometimes, often as he was playing, he felt like it wasn't just him playing, it was the instrument itself, singing with joy, and yes, with gratitude. Grateful to him, grateful to the world. I thought that was beautiful.
Yes, that is honestly how it feels. It is when you play, or I can speak for myself, I don't want to speak for any of the other musicians, but I'm sure I could have, a testament that this actually does, is how we feel. That the instrument is a part of you, and you gravitate towards that instrument, and it gravitates towards you, and together you just do something that is the most powerful force in the universe. Music is the only thing that you can go across the world, not speak the language, and have an instant connection with anyone else. It's that strong. You could be minding your own business and you hear something and your body's going to involuntarily move.
I think it's the other parts that we're describing all that. Music is universal language, and that whole passage. That was just perfect.
It's how we feel. It truly is how we feel.
Yeah.
It truly is. That's why I'm such an advocate for any and everyone to have exposure to music. It is a crime not to have people enjoy music. It really is. It truly, truly is. And I would never want to keep anyone away from music just because, well, you're in the wrong zip code, or you have the wrong bank account, or you're the wrong skin color. That is This is a setup, right? I've got to tune this. I don't, okay. That's not right.
You said you would play it.
I will, I promise.
Now, don't break the strings
I'm
up.
not on purpose, but if they do break, it's not me. Almost there. Someone asked me something else while we were going. I was a little stressed. Hey.
So I enjoyed the figurative language about the pieces. They were related to the natural world. So I'm wondering about your writing mentor, or do you just have reviews or a natural knack for the figurative language?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't you ask me that? That really is a good question. I like to rely on feedback because what I figure is descriptive. Someone else will be like, what are you talking about? That's as plain as the day is long. But it makes perfect sense to me. As a musician, I would use, I mentioned this, I would use very technical terms because that's how I see things musically. If I'm trying to explain it to someone. Because, when do you explain, oh, Brendan, what's this piece of music about? Or how do you feel? Well, I feel like I'm doing it. And they're like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? No, so I have to be very, very, okay. But for people who are non-musicians, But I get challenged a lot to explain, how does this feel? How can you make someone else understand that this is the best feeling in the world? You've told me, Brendan, that you love music to the point where you listen to something, you get a flood of emotions. How can you make someone else feel that? And that's what I try to rely on when I'm doing the imagery and things like that. Does it work?
Yeah, I love it. My husband plays classical guitar, so I get
He gets
the
it.
instrument, the string connection. And then teacher-wise, I try to teach figurative language, but I'm very elementary in that. So I saw those pictures in my mind. I have a connection to the natural world too, so it just brought everything together.
It's a privilege. It really is. It truly is. You're not really, this is not really pine country, is it? I'll be more maple. No oak? Oak, son?
Oh, yeah.
And birch?
Yeah.
Brendan, how do you know all these trees? Because when I used to go to the library as a kid, and I would always get books on trees and flowers and birds and fish and all dinosaurs and all that stuff. You know so many types of trees. I don't. Next, please. Hey.
How do you write? Do you write like on the computer, or do you write on paper and then transfer it to the computer?
I use when I wrote Violin Conspiracy, I wrote it on a Dell laptop.
Okay.
My agent was horrified. You need a MacBook. You have to do this on a MacBook. What's the difference? It's a keyboard. No, trust me. I'm not an Apple guy, but I got a MacBook to write, and it's phenomenal. It's great. It's perfect. And I start on my couch, laying flat. Then I sit up. Then I put one leg up over the top of the couch. I'm serious. I'm like literally in about 6 different positions writing. Then I always end up in my office at the end. And I just write straight through. I make a goal of usually 2,500 words a day. Wow. And that's what I write. Sometimes it takes 2 hours. I'm done. Sometimes it takes 6 hours because, you know, sometimes the juices aren't flowing as whatever, or something's a little more difficult with the subject matter. But if it's really easy, like Violin Conspiracy, the musical passages, they were super simple to do, so I just knocked them out like that. Really cathartic to let all that out too. Next, please. Hey.
Can you speak of your family in real life, your real life family? Siblings?
I do. My mom is in North Carolina. My sister is in Denver. My oldest brother is in Salt Lake City. I live in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately I lost my youngest brother last year. He was in North Carolina as well with my mom, and the book is dedicated to him. I really want to say something, but how offended would you guys be if I said something in spite of cancer?
Not offended.
Would you really be mad?
No.
I don't want to offend anybody though. Is it going to be okay?
Yeah.
No, I'll do it at the end. That way you can't say that, oh, he was great, tell me. No, cancer took my younger brother, but and they're thrilled. They're absolutely thrilled. Just, you know, I got to read my brother the first chapter before he passed away, and that really, I'm really happy that he smiled, so it was good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, please. Hey.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
What's the Erie, Pennsylvania connection? Because I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, and you also, are you?
Yes.
You also thanked Dr. Dean Maynard, who
Dean?
was he the superintendent for Mill Creek Schools? Is it the same Dean Maynard?
IU5, yes.
Okay, because I taught there, and he was my superintendent, so. I was just like, what?
And you know what? I guarantee you he's going to remember you. I guarantee it.
He was only there like 2 years.
I guarantee you he's going to remember you. I guarantee it.
So why Erie?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania. I needed a fresh start. I had, okay, teachers, you guys can relate to this. You get a new principal who has to prove that he's the biggest and the baddest around.
Yes, I've had it.
It's a real thing, right?
Yes, it is.
And they make life miserable for that one person that they're going to find and show that, okay, I'm in charge, not you, and that happens, right?
Yes, well,
see, a co-signer right here.
Actually, there was more than one bad principal.
necessarily principal, but administrator. I'll call it.
Administrator, right, yeah.
I've known 3 bad ones.
So when they're bad, right? And they make life miserable.
Miserable.
So I got that one guy, and it's like, I've been at my school for 11 years, and it was great. I loved it. I was planning on retiring there. This guy comes in. First day, I couldn't do anything right. I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for 19 years, and all of a sudden now I can't do anything right. I won Teacher of the Year, but I can't do anything right. I'm a Nobel Teacher of Distinction. But hey, guess what? I don't know how to do anything right. Okay, cool, fine. I quit. It was either we quit or go to jail for knocking them out. I opted to quit, and I needed a fresh start, so I moved to the last place I ever thought I would move to, Erie, Pennsylvania. I knew one person. I knew Dr. Dean Maynard. And he's like, you can, whatever you need to do. Okay, so got a job teaching at Robert Benjamin Wiley Community Charter School.
Oh, I know Ben. Yeah, well, I don't think that's the one, but.
So I taught there. It's, as you know, in Erie, it's really cold.
Yes.
I couldn't handle a cold. 2 winters is all I could handle. So I moved back down to DC and I taught there for a while. Where am I going with this? What was the question?
It was
Erie. Oh, yeah. I'm telling this story. And Dr. Dean Maynard helped me out, gave me everything that I needed, gave me a place to stay, you know, introduced me to the right people, and was just, he basically was a lifesaver. I was like, thank you so much. He got me back on my feet, and I'm forever grateful to him. But he's a great guy.
I won't spoil it about how the Erie ended up.
But the other stuff, yeah, that's,
yeah,
no.
And Fairview too. I know
I lived
Fairview.
in Fairview, yeah.
Oh, you did?
I lived across, do you know that apple orchard right there on Water Street?
No, I'm from West Signal.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
It's an exit off the thruway.
Oh. Hey, is that anywhere close to Girard?
No, Gerard's on the other side of Erie.
Oh. Oh, you're on that side of it. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, I like you. Yes, next.
Oh, I have a question.
Oh, one more big part.
Oh, okay. Well, just more connections. I recently moved here from Chicago, and you mentioned the CSO a number of times. Any special connection to them, or?
When I was in college, and it's probably holds true today, one of the greatest orchestras I'd ever heard. Just an amazing, amazing group, and flawless recordings. And I always loved them growing up and listening to them, and when I was in college, you know, it was great. So I used Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you mentioned so many pieces of music in your book, and I suppose your next books you will also. Did you ever think about making recordings and to go along with of all the pieces that you mentioned?
That would require a ton of preparation. I'll put it to you this way. I played 95% of the pieces on the a playlist, and those are some of my favorite pieces of music, and I wanted to share those with people via the playlist to the book. So each piece was carefully chosen, like the wedding, the music at the wedding. It's everything that I played at the very first wedding that I played at, and when I made regional orchestra, I remember every note of every piece that we played because I was not supposed to make that group. I'm just some kid from Fayetteville, North Carolina, who's never taken lessons, and all of these other people from all across the state are, you know, they've had lessons for 10, 15 years now, and I come in and I beat half of them. 400 violins audition, they take 100, and I was one of them. And so it will always stay with me, always, and that's music that I absolutely love, so I really wanted to share that with everyone. I hope y'all like it. Y'all like the playlist? Mm-hmm. How many of you discovered something new from the playlist? A new piece of music? How many of you are like, oh, I gotta go listen to that playlist? You'll check out that playlist, I know you will. Next, hey!
How much input do you have in an audiobook? Because I listened to it, and it was pretty amazing to have the music play in the background instead of just reading about it.
That was actually the brainchild of my agent. He was going to make it happen, hell or high water come. He was like, I want music in between each chapter. I think that's the way to go. The audio company, we've never done anything like that before. You've got to find a way to make it work. Brendan, give them the list of pieces. All right, these are the great pieces that you should put in. We don't know how to do it. You'll find a way to do it. And he pushed and pushed and pushed, and they're really happy that they ended up doing it. And It was great. I was really, really happy with it. I had no idea how it was going to turn out, but I think it turned out pretty well. Good stuff, all right. And the narrator was J.D. Jackson. I was actually given the option of 3 individuals to listen to choose who was going to narrate. They offered me the job, and I was like, I've never done this before. Can I do this? They're like, it takes like 46 hours. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he, just the way that he just delivered it, it just spoke to me. I was like, yep, that's the guy. And if you've not heard the audio version, I recommend it. It's very good. It is really good. I read the author's notes, and they asked me if I wanted to do the next book, and I'm actually considering it. What do you think?
Yeah.
On the worst day, no. That was the beginning of the book, but I mean, on the worst, no. The last, that was the first day. That's Ray's story. Hang on. The last 16 hours of Freddie Delaney's life. Yeah. That's the beginning of that book. I really want to read it. What's the name of it? Symphony of Secrets. April 1st. Next, please. I'm sorry. Next.
I'm curious, have you stayed in touch with any of these musicians you played with at that wedding years ago?
Oh, yeah. Great question. Wow. Yes. They were all college friends, and I married one of them. But then we split. But we are still friends. And she read it, and she was like, oh my gosh, I remember this. Yeah, it was terrible. And I saw, one of my friends lives in Richmond, Virginia, and she was like, when I read this, I was like, wait a minute, I was there. And the other, yes, I've been in touch with everyone, and they just, I can't believe you remember that. That was, you know, and we all had the exact same feeling that day. It was terrible. It's a terrible day that none of us, you know, have been able to kind of put out of our minds, because it was very, very hurtful.
Have they had comparable success like you have, I think?
It depends on your definition of success.
You know exactly what it is.
I will say that. Wow, that is a whole wow, dude. Yeah, I think they're all doing really well. They all are doing very well. And I just having the opportunity to see them after not having seen them for years and years and years and reconnect because of this, it's been great, you know. And we're planning on having some gigantic thing, and we don't know exactly when, but we're all going to get together and share stories and memories and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing with my students. I have 25 years worth of students that all, you know, have this common thing, and I'm still in touch with 90% of them. I mean, I've got like all of their numbers on my speed dial right now, and we try to get together as much as we can. We're one big family, and we all love each other, and it's all through music. It's all because of music. And you know, so many people who never would have talked to each other ever. So you're not in the clique that I hang out with. You're not. I don't do this. I'm a sports guy. You're a chess guy, and it doesn't. You know. But we're all friends. We all have this in common, and it's all because of music. It's the most powerful thing in the world. Thank you. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for supporting music. Wait, y'all do support music, don't we? Who am I talking to? Yes, thank you for that. Hey, yes.
Your wife wasn't the one that stole your violin, was
Okay, so next question, please. No, I promise. No. That was awesome. We got that on film, yes? All right, good. Hey, yes.
A few comments, and I read the book sometime in the spring of this year. The audio, it was beautiful. And then I thought about the book, and I said, wow, this is some kind of book that every kid who does music in school should read, because it had so much with the injustices that happen with young kids and color. It was so beautiful. Is there any way that we could, I thought when I heard you were coming here, I said, I should go to the high school and say, this book needs to be read by all your music students, and they should write that little essay separate from, I just think it's just wonderful for the school children to read.
That's very sweet of you to say. Wow. Oh my God.
But is there, we in the great state of New York, we really support our music in schools a lot. And it's lovely because exactly what we said, music is what keeps us all together. So I think that's where we should go.
I think, well, first, thank you so much. That's very, very
And
kind.
I'm not a school person, I'm just.
I've actually been requested to do not a young adult version, but a version that a middle schooler could read. Take out some of the F-bombs, which I have learned. I've totally learned my lesson. Why did you have to have so many F-bombs? I know. And I took a ton of F-bombs out. I promise I did. They're not there. I took them all out. Every other word is an F-bomb, but not necessary. But I've been asked to do a version that is that a possibility. And I'm actually talking to my editors at Penguin Random and Anchor Books over there, and they are, it's a consideration. So hopefully we will have something along those lines, at least for it to be available for